Pranam Guruji. A few months from now, Art of Living will touch the glorious 30th anniversary. When I was reading the past reports, mainly on the 25th anniversary, Guruji said that we are satisfied and we want to express that joy of satisfaction. So, at this time, what's your vision and what's your plan for furthering the mission?
Yes, the 30th anniversary of Art of Living, we are going to plan a celebration, multicultural celebration. People from all over the world would be coming. We'll have it somewhere in Europe now. And then end of the year we will have something in India also. Maybe north of India, because we had in south programs. Along with this, we want to create ideal villages, which we have done already in Maharashtra and Karnataka, where a crime-free village, where there is no crime. People, everyone live together in harmony. All the caste and religious barriers are gone. That type of society which is responsible and responsive.
Spiritual communities?
Of course, of course. You know, without spirituality, there cannot be harmony in the world. So this harmonious communities will have spirituality as the basis.
Sudarshan Kriya has been the core motto or concept of Art of Living at present. And Guruji has been taking it to all the nooks and corners of this world. Is there any modification you have in mind or any further addition to that in light of the experiences so far?
We have various programs, several programs like Navachetana Shibir, which we do it in the villages. It doesn't involve Sudarshan Kriya. It has some pranayama, some bhastrika, and some simple yogasanas. And for children, we have another program called Yes Program, which is all games. Through games, they imbibe values in their life. Then we have Yes Plus program, and there are several other projects. The main purpose of all these techniques and projects is to make people smile more and serve more.
Nowadays, Kerala is really facing a great problem. The second largest revenue of the Kerala government is from the liquor taxes. But at the same time, even recently, there was a huge tragedy which took almost 25-30 people's life. So, and even students at the age of 13 starting, just falling prey to this liquors or whatever it is. So, what are your suggestions, Guruji, for the government of Kerala, for the people of Kerala at large? How Kerala can solve this problem?
Only through education, through awareness, we can handle this. You know, I don't think government will be able to do anything about it. Rules are there, but the implementation is the civil society's work. So when the civil society joins together, and especially women folks take an important role, they tell their children and put this barrier in the children's mind that, you know, drinking is no good for them. Then this menace, what we are seeing, 13-year-old, 15-year-old children drinking, will stop. Second is, all those people who are more bent of spiritual mind, they stay away from alcohol, naturally. So we need to bring up that spirituality a little more into the society. But the difficulty in Kerala is people who think they are communists and they think spirituality is opposed to them. I would like to emphasize here to tell all those communist youth also that what you are saying is really the spirituality. Spirituality is for caring and sharing. But that has to come from a deeper space from within. So you do some deeper meditation, yoga, you will realize the spirit of sacrifice, the spirit of sharing, spirit of love. Once that spirit of love is kindled in you, why would you go and try to get intoxicated and find some other joy? You would simply drop it. I think this one barrier has to be removed, because we think religion and spirituality, we club them and then put them together as against communism. This is a problem. I think this is the biggest problem that Kerala is facing. Ideologically, people try to resist spirituality without going into the depth of it, knowing that it is so good. It brings the harmony in society, it makes your health better, it makes your brain sharper, mind sharper, intellect more clear. So all these benefits are there. So you should look into the benefits. So probably the communists should review their opinion about spirituality.
Yes, at another glorious opportunity for Guruji's movement, the Communist China has invited Guruji, and you are making a trip to China. What's your feelings at this juncture?
I'm quite happy to take on this new project, and they are hosting a program for me, and I'm opening our first Art of Living ashram near Beijing. We already have some teachers there, Art of Living teachers, and they've been doing very good work, and it's done tremendous good to the society. See, as the economy of China is improving, the ills of modern society has also crept in. Family values are reducing, stress and tension has been increasing, depression has set in, violence has taken over the peace and harmony which they used to enjoy in villages. So these programs will help them to cope up with the modern day stress and the ills of growing economy. So they have realized that, the benefits of Art of Living, and so they are starting this program.
Guruji has been visiting Russia rather recently. What are your impressions about the post-communist Russia in general?
You know, in Russia, they are so hungry for our Indian spirituality. In fact, we have centers in almost all cities. About 300 cities in Russia has Art of Living centers. About 700 doctors and engineers are Art of Living teachers. So thousands and thousands are taking benefit of meditation and pranayama, yoga. I have met the officials there and the Communist Party chief, and they all acknowledge that Art of Living has done so much good to the society. It has transformed the lives of millions of people there. So that's a very nice thing that they have acknowledged the contribution of Indian philosophy to their society.
From the eternal divine source, we amass power, isn't it, Guruji? So this power is being exercised in the political format by the people at large, and that is democracy all about. But Guruji, in your assessment or evaluation of the state of affairs, is our democracy is being distanced psychologically, methodologically from the spiritual elements of life, the goodness of spirituality?
Correct, a lot of prejudice have crept in. And these prejudices are not Indian, they have been implanted from the colonial rule. You know. And those prejudices, of course, the West has overcome the prejudice, but our country still, we are holding on to the prejudice. That's unfortunate. Second thing is, today, money power and muscle power has overruled values in society. That's so unfortunate. You know, that shift need to happen. Somewhere people need to wake up and say, we can't sell our country, we can't sell our system for money.
Part of that question, Guruji, actually there is this 33% reservation move is getting serious at the national level. Rajya Sabha has passed and Lok Sabha may take it rather soon. And in states like Kerala, 50% of the local body seats are reserved for women. Are our women capable to handle the new responsibilities given in this contest? What's your assessment?
I think they are more capable. Definitely. Women power is very capable of handling affairs of society with more patience and with more compassion. I think it's good. It's very good. Kerala being a matriarchal society, and I'm very happy that the 50% reservation is there. And I feel throughout the country it should be that way. There should be 50%, because women is just part of the half of the society. So they should get their equal share.
Back to the art of living and its impact on the society in general. Guruji had been making a definite campaign in Kashmir years ago, and it was reported that some of the Kashmiri terrorists just turned into very moderately thinking persons, just setting away their violent attitudes. Yeah. So, taking clues from such developments, is our government at center or state governments are making real use of such innovative initiative by Guruji?
This is our own initiative. We don't want that to be a government initiative because it doesn't gel. Because we are a neutral person, though neutral party. That is how we are able to bring success, because we are able to understand whether it's Naxalites or the Kashmiri militants. And so we don't want to take sides. We want to bring them together. Our main aim is to bring people together and create harmony in society. And we have been quite successful in that work. Even in Jharkhand and in Chhattisgarh, in these areas, many of the Maoists, the rebels, Naxalites, they have come into mainstream. And because their problem we need to understand. They feel the government doesn't understand them. When we talk to them, when we understand their concern, address their concern, and assure them that we are with them, and they should drop the path of violence and come to mainstream in a non-violent way. Hold on to your needs and demands, but go with the principle of ahimsa. And that they have agreed, and many have given up arms. Even now, as we are talking, about 150 youths from Manipur are taking training in Pune, in Pune Ashram, our Pune Ashram. They will be finishing their training on the 30th. 2 months we brought them and we gave them art of living training, and then some skills, some technical education as well, so that they can go back and have some job for themselves, And these are leaders, Manipuri leaders of all these militant groups. So I think our spirituality has demonstrated now, without any doubt, that it has the power to transform individuals.
Spirituality is, of course, the core, essential element of Guruji's movement. But that may not negate the opportunities of taking into consideration our sporting spirit, our physical fitness as a society, as a nation, and with these Commonwealth Games, 101 medals, we are now sort of at a springboard to leap forward. In your vision, Guruji, is there any mission you are planning in this particular field to get youngsters more oriented, focused in such areas of national endure?
I would encourage youths to be more active, proactive. Also in Indian sports, like kabaddi, kho-kho. There are many sports of Indian origin. This also we must popularize it. There are 7 things that India is very, very capable of doing. One is the sports, of course. There are many Indian sports, like the Indian martial arts, Kalaripai from Kerala and all these. People never know about these things. Just this event, in the sports event, they got an opportunity to present themselves. So this is very necessary. Our martial arts or other sports must be encouraged. And then our Ayurveda is becoming now more and more popular in the world. Of course, see, in the 80s, there were hardly any Ayurvedic clinics in Kerala. Today, you will find it in every, 10-15 kilometers, you find an Ayurvedic clinics there. So Ayurveda has to be more proper. And then food varieties. India has the maximum variety of food that any country can offer. But we have not popularized them as much as we could. I would like to tell you, in the 60s and 70s, even masala dosa was not popular in the north. To get masala dosa, people had to go to some particular restaurant only. Today, it's not the case. It has become more popular. Like that, Kerala has so many food items. We have never popularized them. We need to do that thing a little more. Then our music and dance, and our clothes and jewelries. Of course, spirituality, yoga and meditation, our Vedanta philosophy. Recently I was on a tour to Russia. In every city in Russia, there is so much appreciation of our spirituality. Thousands of people come and participate. So we have something to offer to the world. But we have ignored it for too long, our Vedanta, yoga studies. Then, our music, of course.
When Guruji referred to music, just before this generous interview, there was a chance to attend the Rudrabhisheka puja, where the Vedic chanting made the very genuine and classical background. And at the second half of it, it was blended with music, original, free. So this kind of blend of past and present, Guruji is introducing, even to make a age-old concept of puja revolutionized in the real spiritual term. So can this practice be extended to other walks of our civilizational expositions, whatever?
Yes. See, in Maharashtra, we have adopted several villages. In many of these villages, there are shops, but there are no shopkeepers. All the materials are kept, and the labels are put, the price tag is on that. People come and put the money in the box. The Ramarajya, the Mahatma Gandhi had envisioned Ramarajya. And that is becoming true. Basic thing is that people have to come together. They all come together, do satsang. And then they take a resolution. What we can do to uplift our own village. It has to come from bottom up. And now, Government of India, Maharashtra government, they've all awarded this village the prize. Like they have no crime in this village because amongst themselves they came together and they withdraw all the court cases. And nobody smokes or drinks or into drug abuse. See, drug abuse is a very big problem in our country. In Punjab now, one of the most brave race or tribe of our country, the Punjabis, are reeling under this menace of drug. So unfortunate. So we are doing some work there also. But in Kerala, I would like the youth to come forward, and take up this initiative to spread love and compassion throughout the state, irrespective of their caste, religious barrier, or even political affiliation, and put an end to this alcoholism. Alcohol-free Kerala would be my dream.
All the best in that direction of initiative. Guruji. Actually, in the Indian context especially, even during the time of late Swami Chinmayananda, there had been some move to integrate the puja systems. And Shankaracharyas of different periods and Swami Chinmayananda himself made certain initiatives, but it never took off. Any initiative possible for an integrated and more people-friendly puja system?
That's what we have done now. We have done wherein, in Kerala especially, people think, oh, we should not chant the mantra loud, so we should just keep it to themselves. And I mean, that is a system they are following. But I would like them to chant loud and make people listen to it, because even listening to it, it brings such a peace and a sense of upliftment in the spirit. This effort is going on now. We are also sending our pandits from here to Kerala to do pujas. And it will take time, but it is happening. People are coming together, realizing the value of it. In the past, the caste barriers were so much. They didn't want the other caste to listen to the mantra. They think their power will go away or something. We will have to annihilate these sort of apprehensions and fear in the minds of people. See, mantras are like coming from the source of energy. It will never dry out. So we should chant and we should spread the positive energy all around us.
My apology for raising yet another mundane question on the material side. Actually, of late, there is a political consensus for taking census on the caste basis. How would you react, Guruji? What would be the impact of that, good or bad?
I don't think it's such a good idea, because on one hand we are saying people should drop the caste and they should forget about the caste system and they should move together as one human society or one Hindu society. At the same time we are saying poking them back into, putting them the label back into their head. There are many inter-caste marriages. What caste they will put? The government has been encouraging inter-caste marriages. So on one hand you say, okay, you are from different caste, you get married, and then you say what caste you are, then what they will do? I think it is not a wise thing to do. Maybe it has some political agenda on the political party side, but from a reformer's point of view, if Narayana Guru were to say, whether you say yes or no for the census, he would put his foot down and say no. He always said one daivam, oru jadi, oru daivam. So now we are poking into what is your caste, subcaste, and then subcaste. This would taking our society backward.
Actually, the core element of any spiritual discourse by Guruji is faith in God as the base of everything, as the expression of the universality of all the religion. But now the word faith is being questioned or challenged in light of the most recent, yet a little positive Ayodhya verdict, where historians are making great hue and cry, judges are drawing faith into this verdict, construction of this verdict. It is not nice. Faith cannot be considered in settling matters like that. How would you react, Guruji?
I think it's a short-sighted comment. If you really go into that history of the whole Ayodhya, there has been, the archaeological evidence say there has been temple. Everybody, all the three judges have said. They took 60 years for them to work on it, to go through it. And just at the strike of a pen, we cannot dismiss them. If we make our people lose faith even in the justice system, it will be disastrous for our country. Okay, if it is said by somebody XYZ, there are difference of opinion among historians. Different historians say different things. But the judges, they have taken ample time. They have studied. And I still keep my faith on the justice system. I would say they would have done a fair study about it, and they have made 10,000 pages of report. So I would say they have done a very good deal. 2/3 for Hindus, 1/3 for Muslim. They were not being partial to anybody. Well, they could say from 300 years there has been mosque. The Muslims would say the title should go to them. But then a Hindu would say, Nirmohi Akhada says, we were there from 10,000 years, maybe 1,000 years. So our place was there. So they put together their papers and say, we really held a position of this place. So the judges have seen both sides, obviously, in the title suit. And they did a fair deal. Our main thing is we should have a harmony in the society. This should not become another issue. See, now there are already the idols are there for past 60 years. To removing that Sri Ram there and those idols and having a mosque there, nobody wants. Even Muslims don't want that. It will be a perpetual problem. So I would say that people of both community should come together now. This is an opportunity for each one to show their magnanimity to each other. Forget the past and have a nice temple of Rama and a nice mosque somewhere side by. So both communities are happy and move forward for a united, progressive India rather than having a narrow-minded sectarian views.
Can we expect that Guruji would offer some new initiative in realizing what you have
I have been talking to both sides, and I'm very much in the picture.
Guruji, Western media generally depicts Guruji as the new age guru. How Guruji would feel about such a compartmentalization time-wise?
I feel ageless and I feel new all the time.
That's great. So, a word in that line?
Yeah. I don't mind whatever people address me in, and it's their perception. I respect their perception. People have different terminology and different opinions. And it's a free society. They can all have their opinions. For me, as you said earlier, I'd like to combine the old and new. Like the Rig Veda says, Rishibhir Nuta Nairute. The old, like life is like a tree where the roots are old and the shoots are new all the time. So I believe in this concept that we have to carry with us both the ancient wisdom and move towards the newness of life.
That naturally leads me to another question, of course, regarding the technology or science behind art of living.
Art of living is just the name given to a principle of human values. Basically, that's it. Combining the ancient wisdom of caring, sharing, of understanding body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, the Antakarana Chatushtaya, and then Shariram and Shwasam. All these aspects, understanding of them, and connecting to the Atma Jnana.
Yes.
This one energy by which we are all made up of, that universal energy. What Adi Shankara has said as Advaita Siddhanta, the same is being said by the scientist also today. So that eternal principle is not just a concept in the head, in the brain. It's an experiential reality. That's what Art of Living is emphasizing. You may just think about spirituality, but when you do Kriya and meditate, and you can feel that oneness with the entire creation all around you. See, our body is no different from everything around us. It's all part of one consciousness. That understanding comes from within.
At this stage of the interview, especially after hearing the great message from Guruji, I cannot but help quoting Guruji's very philosophical statement. Our bodies are like shells floating in the ocean. Ocean of life is holding so many bodies. So life is not just in the body, but body is in the life. Guruji, this answers fundamental question of worrying death, or worries after death, or anything like that.
Fear of death is because we don't know our mind. Once we understand our own consciousness, our own mind, have a glimpse of meditation, then this fear disappears. See, love, fear, hatred, these three things are manifestation of one consciousness, one energy. So when there is love, there is no fear, no hatred. So when there is fear, naturally there is no love. So that shift that has to happen in everyone's life, from that fear to a state of peace, state of unconditional love, is all yoga and Vedanta is about.
Actually, by following this enlightenment, one would rather feel that being is not a great thing, but being a part of the Almighty is the greatest thing. So this kind of a realization is not very common, but of course personalities and great leaders like Guruji can inspire the humanity in this direction. So the organizational part of Guruji's movement, is it taking much of a time of Guruji's philosophical mission?
You see, any organization has got these aspects. One is the knowledge, which is the main thing. Second is the administration, which people do it. Third is the sustainability of it, projects, seva projects. Fourth is the volunteers. And fortunately with Art of Living, all of them are very well balanced. See, knowledge is like the picture. Organization is only the framework. I have made sure that the frame doesn't need the picture, which often it tends to happen.
Jaihind TV, for the family, for the nation.
It seems the best photo or picture of Guruji is yet to be taken. And when I was just attending the puja, I was just focusing at Guruji, on Guruji, and I was getting the side view. At times, your movement of facial expressions, it seems to me, is drawing your own picture in the atmosphere. Any comment on that feeling?
When I am sitting in puja, I am simply not there. Yeah. Just what is there is just bliss, just hollow, empty space. The there is no thinking mind, there is nothing happening.
Is puja for Guruji is identification with the divinity in the extreme stream of that?
Puja for me is just the play of consciousness. It's just the play. It's just reposing in the being. It's not doing something. Often we think puja means you have to do a lot of things. Not doing. It is reposing in the self.
It's not worship in the general sense.
No.
As puja means
No, it
for
is
many.
relaxing in the lap of the infinity.
Relaxing in the lap of the infinity. And at times, Guruji, you have been dancing with your moods and mind during your discourses and satsang. I had witnessed that at least a few times. So,
as I said, I am a child who refuses to grow up. So children do dance, they do sing, they do everything. They are naughty also.
you are negating the need of maturity.
No, I don't say that we should be childish, but I feel that we have a childlikeness inside each one of us that we should not lose in sight of it. We are children of the universe. However old you become, still you are a baby. That we should not forget.
Which form of Lord Krishna inspired Guruji much or most?
You can't have one form of Lord Krishna because he is multi-faceted at the same time. So you can't divide him, separate him, or only this form. You are in whatever age or form he is complete.
Our grand man of letter, Sri Kushwant Singh, while he was the editor of Illustrate Weekly, wrote a wonderful piece on Guruji, where he has always been naughty in his expositions, and he just had written that Sri Ravishankar ji is a dancing Krishna amongst the elite women.
I don't know whether elite women. I know about all men, women, everybody are dancing around. I don't let anybody stay still and stiff. I make them all dance. So if elite people are more stiff and more bothered, definitely they need to dance more.
But Guruji have been or has been giving a very clear-cut answer to such observation by melting into the masses of this great nation and 150 or 55 other nations of the universe. This great democratic transformation in Guruji's spiritual individuality. What is sort of the magic or science or mission behind that?
Because I don't do anything at all. I just let things happen. I don't control the organization or I don't try to do something. I just relay the whole thing on the divine intuition. So everything happens. See, in Mongolia, 60% of the population has done Art of Living course. In this one country, where the Mughals came from, the Mongols, that country, Art of Living is a household name. So this sort of expansion cannot happen with human effort. Whether you go to Argentina or to the tip of Norway or Australia or to Canada, you find there satsangs happening, people in Art of Living, joining Art of Living, classes happening. This is not just by planning or human efforts. It is a divine will, a divine mission that just happens. And I'm just enjoying like anybody else.
It seems you are spiritually monopolizing the opportunity of enjoyment.
No, I'm sharing it with everybody.
Sharing the bliss. Yeah.
Open to everyone.
And how far?
From my side, I consider the whole of humanity, the whole globe as my family. Whether others do it or not, it's up to them. From my side, everyone is part of my organization. Not just an organization. Every individual is part of my family.
Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam.
Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam.
In a way, it seems, Guruji, art of living and the whole mission of Guruji is clearly an applied Sanatana Dharma movement.
The principles of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam definitely comes from Sanatana Dharma. Yoga comes from Sanatana Dharma. Pranayama and all these things are there. But it is not defining itself to be one religious. Because it's the benefit is universal. The principles are universal. So it is open to people of every faith. All other religious groups also participate in this. And then they get more strengthened in their own way, in their own path. While they honor others and they follow their own path.
Jaihind TV, for the family, for the nation.
Guruji is greatly and extensively generous in putting things together for the entire humanity, but in certain corners, even it may be a very fringe side of the society. Recently there was a mention that yoga itself is demonic, and it was even reported by Times of India. And how would you respond to such
This is not new. Last 30 years we have been facing people like that. Only it has come in the media now, but there has been people who have been opposing us, and people who have been opposing Hinduism, opposing yoga, especially meditation, all this. It's their ignorance. They don't know about it. They think it's all worshipping too many gods, and it's also demonic, and this sort of idea in people. It's because we have not expressed ourselves. Well, number one, we should take responsibility also, because we have never given a clear picture of what Sanatana Dharma or what is the Indian traditions are to the world. And second is their own narrow-mindedness, misconceptions. Because there is only one God. Sanatana Dharma also talks about only one God, but in many forms, in many names. Like in Islam, there is 99 names for Allah. We have 108 names, but one form for each name. So there is nothing wrong in this sort of explanation to people that which we have not done.
Mention of 108 just reminds me of Guruji's one of the brilliant answers to a question about using Sri Sri before the name. Guruji said that I couldn't use 108 names, it will be too long.
Too much.
too much. But how would you usually, Guruji, respond, at least within your mind, to such questions? You have always been smiling at questions, making friends with questions.
Yeah, I play with the questions. We don't need to take everything too seriously. Life itself is a game. Life itself is a play. If we take things too seriously, there is neither wisdom nor joy. And life is all about gaining wisdom and expressing love. Two things very important. How much wisdom you have gained, how much love you have expressed in your life. And these two things could be done in a lighter fashion, in a lighter manner, not making it too heavy for people to think and, Otherwise, one starts sinking into it.
Visiting almost 175 world cities average every year and working almost 20 hours. These are some, mathematics about Guruji's daily routine. Next year, I think Guruji will be 55, and that's a very auspicious number again. How do you manage this crowd, this, tiring itinerary and engagements? And are you feeling at any time of...
you want to know the secret? You want to know the
Yes,
secret?
yes.
I really don't know. I don't know how I manage. It just happens. Just happens. In fact, I don't try to do anything about it. I don't feel the weight of it even.
Hundreds of thousands of questions Guruji has been answering to all of such questions across the globe. And my humble question at this juncture to Guruji, who are you in the real essence of being?
If you want to know me, first you have to ask the question to yourself. Who are you? Who am I? If you sit and ask, who am I, who am I, who am I? And you go deep inside, you find yourself, and then you'll find me too. You'll see that me and you are not different. We are all part of one scintillating consciousness. And that opens the door to a new dimension in life, which is irrefutable. Even the whole world can stay on one side and they deny it, but you will not be able to deny it. You will accept it. Because that is that personal opening or experience. I have nothing to ask. I have nothing to feel sorry or regret for. So I'm quite content.
Seems Guruji's silence says more. So this is the end of my questions. Thank you very much.